Hi, welcome to this Excel tutorial video, and today we're going to look at a problem that was passed to me recently by a friend, and this problem requires a little bit of thinking about and a few different Excel tools in order to fix the issue, to resolve the problem. So let me explain what the issue is. On screen we've got an Excel sheet with 3 columns. We've got this username column here, we've got the user's telephone number in here, and then here we've got the telephone number of the assistant to that person. What my friend wanted was, they wanted the name of the assistant based on the telephone number. Now there's a couple of problems here. The first immediate problem is, in order to do that, I need to look at these telephone numbers and compare them to the telephone numbers in column B in order to get the results from column A. But the data in column B does not look like the data in column C, so it's going to be quite hard to do a comparison. So the first thing we need to do is to fix the data in column B and make it look like the data in column A. So there's a couple of bits to this, but let me just start with looking at, we've got 3 kind of different types of telephone numbers. One where you've got this NA, one where you've got what looks like a full telephone number with a plus at the beginning, and one that doesn't have the plus and doesn't have any spaces. It's not formatted at all, so it's just numbers. What we want to do is we want to work with each of these 3 different types and make it look like this if we can. So first of all, let us think about getting rid of the spaces in column B. And to do that, we're going to use the substitute function, and that will just say substitute this piece of text with this piece of text. So we're looking at B2, and the old text, the text you want to substitute, is a space, and the new text is just an empty space, an empty string. So if I put that in, okay, it doesn't help there, but if we run this down here, we're now getting our data without the spaces. So in some cases you can see a difference, and in some cases you can't. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add a plus to the beginning to kind of get these to have a plus at the beginning. So instead of just saying substitute, we'll concatenate a plus at the beginning. So if I just now put this to all of the numbers, now we've got some numbers that have a plus and some numbers that don't have a plus. So what we need to do now is deal with that. So what we'll say is equals substitute, and in here we're going to substitute the hold on, let me start that again. I've missed the plus of this top one, sorry. So if you just go back to that, so we're going to substitute the result of this entry here, and we're going to say substitute double plus with single plus, and then if we run that all the way down, we'll see now there's only a single plus at the beginning of everything, so that's fine, that's pretty good. Next we want to say if we don't want to do anything, if it's a not applicable telephone number, then we don't want actually to return anything in here. So let's say if, and then we'll say B2 equals not applicable, then we're going to put an empty cell, or we're going to put the result of our substitute. So now we've cleared down any NAs, we've just got rid of them. But equally, there's some that don't have any data at all. They've got spaces, so we need to do the same sort of thing here. So let's say if B2 equals empty cell, then let's have an empty cell in here, otherwise continue with the logic. So if we just run that down now, oh, that's got a space in fact. So let's just change that so it is a space. So let us run that down. That's better. So that's got rid of those. Yeah, so it dealt with all of the not applicables, anything which has got nothing in there, and in fact what we could do, that's got a space, but actually what if it didn't have a space and it had if it was just empty, it would break our logic again. So you can see that little plus has appeared. So let's do this. Let's say if trim, and what trim does, it gets rid of the leading and trailing spaces. So if trim equals empty space, if we run that down, that's fixed the logic there. So if there was a space in here, it's made it an empty space, and then it's dealt with it as if it was an empty space, an empty cell rather. Okay, so we've got the numbers formatted. That's pretty good. So now we want to do the VLOOKUP element to try and find the name of the assistant. So when it comes to VLOOKUPs, when you're doing a VLOOKUP requires you to search a particular cell, search a particular value in a particular range, and then return a column within that range. Now I've done a video on VLOOKUPs which I will include in the description of this one, but there is a logical order where the left-hand column of the range is where you want to be doing your search, and then you will return data to the right of that column using a VLOOKUP. So what we want to do is we want to search this column here, but we want to return this column here, any matches. That's not going to work because this column is left of this column. So what we'll do here, rather than messing about and switching these columns about, here in column E, we're going to make it the value of column A. So if I just run that down here. Now columns D and E are basically, we've created them just to facilitate the eventual solution. So we don't really need to see them, so I'm going to hide them in a minute. But eventually we're going to do VLOOKUP. In fact, no, I'll put assistant name. And now that we've got all of our data in order, we can create a VLOOKUP based on this set of data here, and based on this set of data here, and returning this information here. So I'm going to do equals VLOOKUP. I'm going to look up this range. So the VLOOKUP is going to look at column C of that range. Then it's going to return, if it finds a match, the third column, which is our username column. Oh, hold on, I've messed up there. Sorry, we need to do a search on hold on a sec. Sorry, we're doing a search on this. This is our formatted telephone number. What have I got wrong here? No, we're doing a search on this. We're doing a search. This is the assistant's telephone number. So we're doing a search on the lookup value is our assistant's telephone number. The range that we're looking at is the next variable in our VLOOKUP, and that's going to be C to E. We're going to return the third column. Oh, I've messed up again. The range we're looking at is D to E, and then we're going to return the second column, which was the staff username assistant column, and then this last one here we're saying we only want the exact match. If I click OK on that, this first one, there's nothing there, so there's nothing to compare it to. But if we run this down here, we should see that staff member 2, let's hide these two columns like I said I was going to, so let's just hide that. So staff member 2, their assistant has the ending 8004, and 8004 is the telephone number of staff member 4, so you've got staff member 4 returned here. And staff member 3, theirs is 80014, and the telephone number of that person is actually step member 14, and you can see that that's been returned as the assistant. So you got a little bit confused there in that last bit. Hopefully, if I just unhide those, hopefully now it makes sense. The logic that I've eventually put in, it works, and it has to be done in this way, just because of the formatting of the numbers and the VLOOKUP logic rules require the columns to be in this way. So I'll hide those again. That's the end of this demonstration. If you've got any queries or comments, that'll be appreciated. Thanks a lot for your time. See you next time.